Napoli president personally intervenes in Darwin Nunez negotiations. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis has personally led negotiations for Nunez. The Liverpool striker looks likely to leave Anfield after 3 years in Merseyside. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis has reportedly taken to personally conducting transfer negotiations for Darwin Nunez as the Italian champions look to seal a deal. Nunez joined Liverpool in an £85 million club record transfer 3 years ago, but he appears ready to leave after taking on a bit-part role under Arne Slot. The 25-year-old bagged 5 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League last season as Liverpool romped to victory but only started on 8 occasions. He appears likely to move on from Anfield this summer, and Napoli, Atletico Madrid, and Al Hilal have all turned their attention to the Uruguayan. Antonio Conte's side are keen to bolster their attack as they look to reduce their reliance on Romelu Lukaku and challenge for a second consecutive Serie A title, and in the latter stages of the Champions League next season. And De Laurentiis has now personally engaged in negotiations as he looks to push through a move, according to Corriere dello Sport. But Nunez only played a bit-part role under Arne Slot, starting just 8 times in the league. Darwin Nunez joined Liverpool in an £85 million club record transfer from Benfica in 2022. While Nunez is said to be open to joining the Naples outfit, talks have stalled in recent weeks. Napoli's president therefore decided to take it into his own hands, personally speaking to Fali Ramadani, who is brokering the deal. The Serie A champions have not yet agreed a transfer fee with Liverpool, but Liverpool are thought to be holding out for €60 million, £51 million. But Napoli are reluctant to offer more than €43 million, £37 million, despite it being less than half of the fee Liverpool paid Benfica in 2022. Udinese forward Lorenzo Luca is Napoli's alternative, but the 24-year-old Italy international would cost at least €40 million, £34 million. If Nunez were to complete a move to Napoli, he would link up with a number of ex-Premier League stars. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis, left, is himself intervening in Darwin Nunez negotiations. Antonio Conte led Napoli to a stunning Serie A victory last season, their second in 35 years. Arne Slot won the Premier League in his opening season at the club, but Nunez still may leave. Former Manchester United midfielder Scott McTominay won Serie A Player of the Season in May, while he lines up with Scotland teammate and ex-Chelsea Billy Gilmour. Kevin De Bruyne completed a move to the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium last month, and Rasmus Højlund and Trevoh Chalobah have also been linked with the club. Fabrizio Romano reveals how Eberechi Eze feels about Arsenal transfer. He's already passed one Mikel Arteta test. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has given an update on how Eberechi Eze feels about Arsenal's transfer approach this summer. The Gunners have shown long-standing interest in the Crystal Palace star, but finally look set to act on that, with Andrea Berta pushing on with a move. Arsenal have made inquiries over a deal for Eberechi Eze, with the England international being one of 3 targets for the forward ranks this summer. The 27-year-old is a target separate from the approach for a winger and a striker this summer, as Mikel Arteta needs more goal potential out of his side. With Arsenal making their initial moves for Eberechi Eze, the player has now seemingly responded to the possible deal. Fabrizio Romano reveals Eberechi Eze is open to an Arsenal transfer this summer in a huge boost. Arsenal's interest in Eberechi Eze is now well known, as the versatile playmaker could be available this summer. There is a £68 million release clause in his contract at Selhurst Park, which opens the way for a move, but far from seals it. The player will have a key decision to make over a switch to the Emirates Stadium, though it seems that he has given the green light to it. Official: Joao Pedro has joined Chelsea from Brighton on £60 million package deal. The Brazilian striker signed a contract until June 2032, with Jamie Benogitten's announcement. Rate this signing from 1 to 10. Chelsea signs Brazil forward Joao Pedro from Brighton. File. Brighton's Joao Pedro celebrates after scoring his side's opening goal during the English Premier League soccer match between Arsenal and Brighton at Emirates Stadium in London, Saturday, August 31, 2024. AP photo Alistair Grant. File. Associated Press. Joao Pedro joined Chelsea from Brighton on Wednesday to continue the Premier League club's lavish spending under American owners Todd Bailey and Clearlake Capital. The Brazil forward cost a reported £60 million, $82 million, and has signed a contract through to 2033. Everyone knows this is a big club with a great history, Joao Pedro said. They had brilliant players in the past and have brilliant players now. So I am excited to join, and you know when you are a Chelsea player, you must think one thing: win. He has joined up with Chelsea's squad at the Club World Cup in the United States and is eligible to play in Friday's quarterfinal against Palmeiras. Joao Pedro is Chelsea's fifth major signing this offseason after previous deals for Liam Delap, Dario Asugo, Kendry Paez, and Mamadou Sarr. Under Bowley and Clearlake, the six-time English champion has spent well in excess of $1 billion on transfers, including British record fests for Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. Joao Pedro's arrival comes as Chelsea prepares for a return to the Champions League after a two-year absence. Under coach Enzo Maresca, the London club finished fourth in the Premier League last season, its highest place since Bailey and Clearlake bought out former owner Roman Abramovich, and also won the UEFA Conference League. Chelsea can add to that at the Club World Cup, but the expectation in next season will be to challenge for a first Premier League title under its American owners. The 23-year-old Joao Pedro hit 10 goals in 32 appearances for Brighton last season and scored 30 across 2 years with the club. He is the latest player to leave Brighton for Chelsea in a big money move in recent years, after deals for Marc Cucurella, Robert Sanchez, and Caicedo. The move also represents a sizable profit for Brighton after signing Joao Pedro from Watford for £30 million, $41 million, in 2023. Liverpool may have just paved way for Alisson transfer exit after announcement. Alisson has been linked with an Anfield exit previously. Liverpool's newly announced reshuffle in the goalkeeping coaching department could leave Alisson unhappy. The Brazil international has been linked with a move away from the Reds on several occasions in years gone by, with Saudi Pro League outfits monitoring his situation from afar. Alisson has been Liverpool's number one since he joined the club from AS Roma in 2018, but the 32-year-old will soon face serious competition for his position with the imminent arrival of Georgi Mamardashvili from Valencia. But it isn't just the signing of the Georgian international which could leave Alisson pondering whether his time on Merseyside may now be reaching its natural conclusion. The exit of Liverpool goalkeeper coaches Fabian Otte and Claudio Tafaro is also likely to be a big change for the shot stopper to accept. Xavi Valero has replaced the duo, having worked for the Reds in 2007 under Rafael Benitez, before going on to spend time at Chelsea, Real Madrid, and West Ham. Alisson worked closely with Claudio Tafaro. Tafaro's exit will be a hammer blow to Alisson, who previously recommended for the Reds to approach him, and former head of goalkeeping John Achterberg even revealed last year that if the coach was not at Liverpool, then he wouldn't have been shocked to see the Brazilian star depart. Speaking on the Football Historian podcast, Achterberg said, "They were smart to at least keep Tafarel, because if they would also change Tafarel, they probably would have told Ali to find a new club basically. You have to be smart as well. It's good because Tafa's a really good guy, and it's perfect that he's there for them." Alisson is contracted to Liverpool until 2027, and the club do have a one-year option to extend that deal. However, it would be no great surprise if a significant bid were to test their resolve once Mamardashvili touches down on Merseyside. Although the goalkeeping changes may cause a stir, the two-time Premier League winner has insisted last month that he remains focused on representing Brazil at next year's World Cup, and therefore he does not feel a big change is in the offing in the meantime. He explained, "I've never been able to plan long-term. Obviously now I have 1 year left on my contract and another year of club option, which they will probably exercise. It's a decisive moment in my career with a World Cup coming up. I want to be very focused. I don't want anything external to get in the way of that." Juventus offer choice of 3 stars demand UTD in swap deal for Jadon Sancho, including USMNT ace Tim Weah and Douglas Luiz. Juventus have reportedly reignited their interest in Manchester United winger Jadon Sancho by proposing a swap deal that includes a selection of 3 players from their current squad, according to Give Me Sport. Among the names floated during early-stage discussions are United States international Tim Weah, midfielder Douglas Luiz, and Serbian striker Dusan Blajovic. Juventus exploring Sancho deal. have made contact with Man UTD, where Luis and Vlahovic might be involved. What happened? The Italian club had previously attempted to secure Sancho's signature in the summer of 2024. Juventus were close to finalizing the move, and the English international was said to be open to joining the Bianconeri. However, that deal ultimately collapsed when Chelsea made a late approach and convinced the former Borussia Dortmund star to join them instead. Now, with Sancho's future again in question, Juventus have returned to the negotiating table with renewed interest. The bigger picture. While the names of Weah, Luis, and Vlahovic have been floated, United are yet to engage in advanced talks or express formal interest in any of the three players. Despite Juventus's efforts to make the deal appealing, it appears United have not committed to any negotiations regarding a swap at this point. Did you know? Juventus are reluctant to meet the entirety of Sancho's current wage demands. While there are reportedly no objections from the Italian side concerning a potential transfer fee, the financial strain of covering Sancho's full salary has proven to be a sticking point. This may yet prove to be a hurdle unless compromises are reached, potentially including United agreeing to subsidize part of the winger's wages. What next for Sancho Man UTD? Given Sancho's uncertain role at United and the club's desire to reshape their squad, the door appears open for movement. It now remains to be seen whether United will take the bait and consider a player plus cash arrangement or push for a straight cash sale elsewhere. Arsenal make final Victor Gyökeres or Benjamin Sesko transfer decision as 5-year deal agreed. Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyökeres is keen to leave Portugal this summer in search of a new challenge, with Arsenal among the teams interested. Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyökeres celebrates. Arsenal have reportedly reached an agreement with Victor Gyökeres on a 5-year deal with the club, now in advanced talks with Sporting Lisbon over a transfer fee. The Gunners have been keeping a watchful eye on Gyökeres all summer after his sensational record in Portugal. The Swede managed to score 97 goals in 102 appearances for Sporting since moving to the club from Coventry City. With Arsenal needing a center forward this summer, Gyökeres has been high on their wish list, along with RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. Football.London understands Sporting director Andrea Berta has been negotiating for both strikers this summer. Now, it appears that Berta and the Gunners have reached a breakthrough. L'Equipe claims that Arsenal are close to reaching a verbal agreement with Gyökeres' camp over personal terms for a transfer this summer. Journalist Sasha Tavaleri goes a step further, though, and reports that a 5-year deal has been agreed between the player and Arsenal, with the Gunners now moving on to advanced talks with Sporting over a transfer fee. This process could be altogether more stressful considering the Lisbon club's hard negotiating position. Gyökeres is understood to have believed he could leave for £60 million this summer. However, the Portuguese club's president Frederico Varandas refuted those claims in the media. Varandas has admitted that they will not hold out for Gyökeres' £85 million release clause, so their asking price is likely to be somewhere between £60-85 M. This is not believed to have gone down well with the Swedish strikers camp, and there have been claims that Gyökeres will not return to Lisbon for pre-season due to this perceived backtrack from Varandas. Speaking ahead of Sporting's General Assembly, Varandas said, "Sporting does not need to sell Gyökeres. We have already passed the stage where we had to sell our best assets. We do not have to sell him. In the same way that we do not have to sell him, we are still sensitive to Victor's dreams." Sporting has a commitment made by the president not to ask for the value of the termination clause and to be reasonable in relation to Victor's performance last season. If you ask me today, there is a strong possibility that Victor will leave. In the last few weeks, we have been keeping an eye on the market. I saw a player like Martin Zubimendi, who is 6 months younger than Victor, go to Arsenal for €65 million. I saw 2 players being sold in the Premier League, Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, who do not have the quality of Victor in my opinion, were sold for around €70 million. We are talking about players who are 26 years old. So given the demands we are making in relation to Victor's value, I believe he could leave unless he has the worst agent in the world, which I find hard to believe. I won't say what the price we asked for. It was communicated to the agent. But I can guarantee that Victor will not leave for €60 million plus €10 million. Victor already knows, and I want Sporting fans to take advantage of this summer, in which they are 2-time champions, in which they have a double, to celebrate, to be calm, because there are only two scenarios. One club respects the price requested by Sporting, and Victor will fulfill his dreams. And from that moment, we will be ready to attack the targets, or that club does not want Victor, and Victor, with a 3-year contract, stays at Sporting, and we will be very happy. I have been in football for 20 years and have already experienced countless transfer dramas. The transfer window is a cure for any ill. Disgruntled players are not a problem. Victor staying will not be a problem for us. It will be a problem for our reports that Arsenal feel positive that they are closing in on Gyökeres. But the transfer is far from complete yet.